Hi Pisces, this is your forecast for the month of October 2018. This is a general reading for Pisces Sun, Pisces Rising, or Pisces Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Pisces, this first week, the Queen of Cups may represent you or perhaps another water sign. This could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this Queen. Now, this may be a week that focuses on your mother, your role as mother, maternal energy, and feeling deeply and feeling devoted to something. You may be involved with perhaps somebody who works in a emotional or psychological capacity, a therapist, a counselor. This could be a nurse, a social worker. This could be a doctor, just somebody who is helpful, caring, and understanding. And this may be somebody who is creative, intuitive. Perhaps this person is involved in some form of mysticism. This is somebody who has keen perception. You feel comfortable telling them your story. They're a good listener, very empathic, and again, intensely emotional and passionate. And yet, this is a week of receptive energy where there could be issues surrounding being too easily influenced by someone or a circumstance. So for some of you, you're focused on healing in some way, or your creativity, your intuition, and you may be acting as a catalyst to create peace and harmony, or somebody is sowing the seeds of disharmony. So it's important this week to get in touch with your emotions, receiving deep feeling, sensitivity, your intuition, your interest in the arts, your appreciation for home and family. And you may feel very sensitive this week. And, in some cases, maybe you're connecting to somebody that you feel very comfortable with, and yet they're difficult to know. You may be ripe for being projected upon or projecting your ideals onto other people. Now, this Queen sometimes has difficulty asserting herself. She's not very direct. She tries to go in through the back door, and she can be passive aggressive or use some other form of manipulation. And, she's very laid back and easygoing unless she's tapping into the negative shadow side of herself, where in that case, she plays her hand by, producing guilt in you, manipulating you through guilt. And maybe she is unstable in some way, or she's addicted to love or to substances, and she takes on the role of a victim, or she's unfaithful, or she is an enabler. Maybe she's too gullible, or she's unrealistic about something. So again, you're dealing with emotions and intuitive power. It could be that somebody feels like they're overpowered by a situation, and that situation is depleting energy. It's emotionally draining. Somebody is a psychic vampire, or there's a lack of fulfillment in expectations, or somebody can't control their emotions to the point where they may be hysterical in some way. So you are looking at, perhaps some of you may be involved in a fatal attraction, or where you've been living in this fantasy world. Positively, this is someone who is having a very positive influence on your life, or you to another person. This may be someone where you feel totally obsessed. You are magnetized and attracted to this person. And they have a good influence on you. They make you more compassionate. They make you better than what you would normally be. And so they're helping you take on a more positive approach to your life, or vice versa. But again, negatively, maybe somebody's being very disruptive, because this is a Queen who, again, creates harmony or disharmony. And this is going to be a week where your security is very important to you. You're going to want to get in control of a situation or a person that you feel is essential to your ongoing stability. And this is a week where you really need to listen to your intuition. You could be getting some revelations, could be some spirit messages, something psychic, revelations from hidden sources. You're gaining more self-awareness. And in some cases, you may not be acknowledging your emotions, and you need to contemplate a situation and go within. Now, the second week, you have a major card. For some of you, there's a tie to a Gemini person. And this is about a son, a brother, a boyfriend, an important male figure, somebody who may possess some kind of special knowledge or skill, ability. Could be artistic, could be creative, could be technological. This may be somebody who, is very powerful. They know how to have a vision and make it happen. And so for some of you, this is about creating ideal circumstances for yourself. There's a goal that you want, and you may be trying to promote yourself or an idea or a concept. You're using your creativity and your problem-solving skills in order to achieve this goal. So this is a week where you're very focused. You have something in your head and you want to make it happen. And so you're very determined. There's some opportunities presenting where you get to, solve some problems, find some answers. Although it's a process, it may not happen immediately at first go. But the point is to empower yourself and to rely on your own skills, talents, and strengths. This could be a week where you are someone connected to you, has a way with words. You're a good communicator. You know how to promote. You know how to market. You know how to put yourself out there and be seen. But negatively, this could be, some indecision, or maybe something is blocked. You can't come up with any ideas. Your creativity is stifled, or you're not seeing things for what they really are. And again, remember the Queen of Cups can be open for projection. Some of you, this is about your resources. You may have been wasting your energy or your resources, or you had some unrealistic goals. You may have even pursued something and made some mistakes because you were overconfident, or you lacked confidence. Maybe you felt inhibited in some way. And maybe you're just trying to avoid a problem and take the easy way out. So there could be extreme behaviors where either somebody's being very cocky and very sure of themselves, or, there's a lack of confidence. They're not moving forward because they feel powerless or impotent in some way. So there could be some delays. There's a reluctance to take a chance on something. And this may center around your expression, perhaps doing something that you love, or feeling joyful, or taking care of health, or finding that confidence to say the words that you need to say. Perhaps there's something you've been repressing. But this is a week where you make further gains by relying on yourself, knowing who you are and what your capabilities are, and being willing to apply your energy and effort toward a goal. And so if that's the case, you may get some recognition. You may get some kind of reward for your efforts or for your services. And for some of you, you can get into trouble, though, when you're not receptive, when you don't want to listen to other people and their opinions or their advice or get their assistance. Now, perhaps this is the Queen behaving this way, or maybe you are behaving this way in response to that Queen. Somebody may be angry or short-tempered or impatient, and that becomes an issue. Maybe self-reliance is in the extreme. So the magician always finds the right balance. He has all the resources at hand to make something happen. Now, in his shadow, he is a manipulator. He's an imposter. He may be looking for gain at the expense of other people, whether that's a relationship where he's just going after, a sexual conquest, or, he's manipulating people's emotions, or he feels unjustifiably confident in his abilities. He could be a liar, an opportunist, or a con man. So there appears to be something that the Queen of Cups is turning her back on. Maybe she's unaware of this, or there's something taking place behind her back. And again, it could be maybe somebody is talking about something, or she's turned her back on trying to manifest something, or maybe you've given up on the Queen. Now, the third week, you are dealing with changes, some kind of transition. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're dealing with people at a distance. Maybe, this is the ability to move forward or to create some beneficial changes. It could be somebody needs some help. And again, we get back to that perhaps refusal to accept help or suggestions. This may focus on somebody that's, emerging from some period of suffering, perhaps a toxic relationship, an abusive situation. It could come down to somebody not applying themselves, especially if the magician was negative. This could be somebody that's procrastinating, or, somebody who is not putting forth effort. So you are moving through some choppy waters to get to the other side of a situation. Maybe you're trying to recover. Maybe this is connecting to a healer of some sort in order to recover. But you want to move away from stress, from problems, from tension. And you may do that by, maybe you're going to take a holiday trip, or you're going to change your attitude and not push so hard. You're going to go with the flow. You're going to see how things unfold. In some cases, you may be moving on from something. You're going to sever some ties. You don't want to deal with anything that is problematic. And in fact, it could be that there's some brighter days ahead for you. Maybe the worst is over. You're moving on from something. But you are going to have to revisit some issues, whether those are personal, professional, legal, or medical. And even though you want to get to the other side of a situation and you can see the end goal in mind, something about your situation this week is going to make you feel like you're starting back at square one. Now, this may mean that you're having to rethink a situation or go over some old issues. Maybe you're revisiting some place you've been before. Somebody comes back into your life. And the point is for you to change the perspective. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, or change your vantage point. Try to get a better understanding of yourself in connection to another person, and it's going to require some patience. It's going to take some time, but there's some benefits to this. Even though things are not moving quite in the way you want, or the manner, or the time frame, ultimately, there's a benefit involved. Now, you may decide that, something is going on and you don't want to deal with it. And this week you are allowed to just, quietly move on. You want to get away from pointless situations, bad habits, things that limit your progress, things that interfere with you making connections to people that you want to be involved with, things that get in the way of your interests, where you really want to be spending your time. And in some cases, someone is going to pop up unexpectedly that you enjoy. But in other cases, you still have some rough waters ahead, and maybe it's because you're stuck in a negative thought process. You haven't been able to solve a problem or come up with a solution or any ideas. And it may be that, you're not accepting the help that's offered, or you just simply can't leave a troubling situation, and so you feel trapped. You're dealing with one problem after another. Or if you do get relief, it doesn't last very long. So for some of you, maybe there's something that comes up that changes your plans. You may have to delay or postpone something. Or maybe you're dealing with some ill health. whatever it is, you're going to have to stop making excuses about, what you're doing. And maybe you need to stop accepting excuses from other people, because now is the time for you to find a better way to deal with certain situations to create some beneficial change. And this is going to be a week where your strength of character is going to be challenged in some way. You may find yourself disappointed. And this is not the first time you've been disappointed. Somebody perhaps has a history of letting you down, and they show themselves again because you didn't get it the first time. So there are connections to people or circumstances, could be something medical or legal, and you thought it was a closed chapter, a done deal, over and done with. You had locked that away, and yet it comes up again unexpectedly, and you're not happy to see it. It could be that, remember that Queen of Cups is easily influenced, and you may be subject to the wrong influence that causes you to have to start over in a situation. And the point is, you need to look at where you're spending your time. Are you wasting it? Are you putting too much time, energy, effort, putting your faith in a situation that's never going to work out, trying to connect to people that continuously disappoint you, putting your eggs in one basket and with no chance of return? If that's the case, it's likely that you're going to repeat some mistakes that you made before. Now, there could be some beneficial changes, but this centers around trust. Can you believe a person? Are they what they appear to be? Or is this all smoke and mirrors? This is about getting support from others and having the confidence in yourself. And you're taking stock of where you may feel protected through your connections and circumstances, or you recognize that there's a crack in the foundation. You are vulnerable to something. Now, the last week you have this Eight of Cups. And so you may be leaving. Maybe you're going on a trip. Maybe this is taking you overseas or over water, or you're creating some beneficial changes. Maybe you're getting some exercise. You're getting out in nature. You're walking, but you are leaving something unsatisfactory behind. Could be some unhealthy attachments. Again, some toxic situations. Something that has left you unfulfilled. May tie to your resources or how people have tried to exploit or manipulate you in some way. And you're going to have to, really determine what is worthy of moving on from and what's worthy of you giving another shot at it. There is the decline of something. Maybe you feel abandoned in some way, let down, and you're moving on where you've been disappointed, and there's a weariness to your situation, but there's also a turning point occurring. You may be moving in a new direction without a clear idea of where the destination is. Maybe you lost interest in something, or you were disappointed about how something played out. Or maybe you want to get away from people who are insecure and emotionally unstable and needy, and you're going to cut those emotional ties. So you are trying to turn your back on something that you don't feel serves you anymore. It doesn't work on any level. It's not a part of a healthy lifestyle, and you want to move on to something new. Could be a new relationship. And you may be in a transition point where you're making some major changes, like relocating or changing your job. Something about what you're doing will create a change in your circumstances, unless you're still operating from a sense of a lack of confidence. Maybe you're shy, you don't want to move forward, or maybe you're having difficulty moving on. Maybe in some cases, the beneficial change occurs because you're returning to a former relationship. Maybe, you're operating in the dark. There's a fear of the unknown, and you end up making the wrong decision, or you have trouble making a commitment. So you may be pursuing something that's false, that's not built on anything solid, or maybe you decide to walk away from something too soon, impulsively, and you end up abandoning a valuable relationship because you couldn't come to terms with emotion. You weren't able to be intimate, or maybe somebody you were dealing with. So you're making some emotional changes. You're clearing house inside, and you're coming to some terms about who you are, who other people are. You're getting a reality check. And this is a time where you have to be conscious of your own ability and power, because you want to make your own decisions. You want to navigate those waters and determine where the destination is. So for some of you, if you have been conflicted inside about how you feel, about what you want, about being blocked, where you can't be who you truly are, where you can't show your best self or express yourself in the best way, you're going to want to close those things out. And it may be very easy this week to do that. If you want to walk away from something, you may find the resolve to do that. Or if you want to save a situation with somebody, or you want to change some bad habits, you may find the strength to do that. So you're looking at circumstance, habits, and people that may not be good for you and where you can make some changes. So you want to manifest something. You want to draw on that magician card to harness your own personal power and create some magic for yourself. But you have to realize in other aspects where you may be stuck in a leaded, heavy way of thinking that keeps you bogged down. If you don't know what you really want, you have more personal work to do until you figure that out. And it could be that maybe you were going after something or someone, and you thought you had to be a particular thing. You had to present yourself as something, or you had to, be more successful, be more attractive, be more interesting. And maybe you were setting this extraordinary bar, and that wasn't necessary. For some of you, you're going to, again, get some revelations. You're going to find some truths out, and they're going to be difficult for you to deal with, and it's going to be hard for you to come to terms with this truth, and you may decide to go off by yourself in order to sort some things out. Now, the underlying energy is this Queen of Wands. This is fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female. And this is energy that is the catalyst behind events. Again, there's some kind of emotional transformation taking place, some kind of spiritual awakening, where you're deciding about what it means to be an individual. And for some of you, you're looking at where you've been undermining yourself, where you have been not putting forth enough effort in making the most of yourself. This Queen of Wands is very enterprising. She's passionate. She's career-oriented. She may be somebody who holds some authority that you're connected to. It could be a boss, a supervisor, somebody who knows a lot of people. Maybe, this is being involved in a lot of projects or in the community. This could be a leader, a patron, an expert of some sort. For some of you, this is about, this is a very creative queen. So it could be about something intuitive or creative or artistic. It could be about some kind of charity organization or marketing. This is a queen who knows what her assets are, and she knows how to promote those. She likes attention, and she's very magnetic. She tends to draw others into her circle, in spite of the fact that very often she's temperamental or she's going against the grain. She tends to get away with that because she's so charming and alluring. Now, this could be a month where your power of attraction is important. Your ability to promote yourself, your strength, your causes, your optimism, whether you're confident in yourself and you have the ability to compete. So for some of you, this is about being very intent on your desires and passionately expressing yourself. And so you have a desire to be noticed, to be appreciated, and people are taking notice of you. You've got a lot of attraction, whether that's romantic, social, business-wise, and you're coming in contact with people where your interests align, your goals are the same, you complement one another, and you are fulfilled as far as that need for change, that need for adventure. Now, negatively, this is a queen who can be a schemer. Somebody who's jealous or vengeful and frustrated about not being able to manifest something that she wants. So you could be dealing with some issue of deceit or infidelity, or somebody is so passionate that they're ruthless about what they're going after. They're manipulating, they're unyielding. It could be that, somebody has some very strong and definite feelings about men. They don't appreciate male authority. It could be that, somebody has a lot of pride, and that gets in the way of making an objective decision. So, for some of you, you're dealing with insensitivity, somebody who's irresponsible, or somebody who is frustrated or angry or jealous, or is using other people simply as an accessory, a stepping stone to get ahead. They may be overly dramatic and, creating a lot of drama and chaos. Now, this is because you want so much attention. It could be that you are going out of your way to get that. There's a need for that security, that validation, and you're going about something to the point where you become a nuisance, or somebody that you're involved with is. You may alienate somebody in the process of trying to go after your desires, or vice versa. Positively, this is about your influence, trying to steer matters your way, trying to, turn the opinion your way. And this could be cause for celebration. There could be some good news. Again, many of you may be traveling, or some doorways open up for you. And it could come down to making some changes that serve you by relaxing your guard, some movement in a situation, even your physical movement, exercising, getting out there, connecting, networking. Now, this is going to be a month that centers around getting clear about something, improving it, repairing it, regenerating it, trying to be more efficient, getting some answers that allow you to be more secure and more efficient in the way you run your daily affairs. And it's also about the things that tie to your destiny. The things that feel almost fated, and the things that are connected to your future. And this is going to be an emotional month with many changes in store. You only have one major card, the Magician. So it's about opportunity, about manifesting, and about self-reliance, taking the initiative to make things happen without falling prey to impulsiveness, anger, or irritation, or arrogance. And you have two queens. So there are two women involved. Perhaps maybe this has to do with a friend, an acquaintance, perhaps a rival, or some conflicting needs. And, something is not on solid ground. Somebody's not seeing things in a realistic way. They're maybe very airy-fairy, or, they're this pie in the sky outlook, something, or it's simply that this is an ongoing situation where everything has not fully formed. You're still working out the details. And it's going to center around the benefits that come through others, favors. Particularly the Queen of Wands and perhaps people at a distance may be steering matters your way with travel, or those at a distance, or to create some beneficial changes, or by moving on or away from this Queen of Wands. And it's also centering around your partnerships, maybe walking away from something, or maybe seeking a new relationship. So there is a need to understand the past. And it could be that, maybe somebody has a belief that the rational understanding is the only understanding necessary. So they're not in touch with their intuition or the emotional. They need facts and figures. There could be issues, where somebody's a good listener, but they don't like to have or to deal with conflicting ideas. Maybe somebody's indulging in food. Maybe, beneficial changes are created through exercising, walking. In other situations, there may be a need to make an example of someone. There could be issues of guilt or a need to create an emotionally supportive environment, either at work or at home or both. There's also some mental ruthlessness that may give over to the softer emotions. Maybe you are keeping in touch with the feminine side of yourself, or you're allowing yourself to relax, to enjoy the softness. You're using your intuition to make some fair decisions. All right, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to subscribe. You can join me on Instagram or at Patreon for extra perks, over at my blog for a daily post. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.